Hey, what's up, and welcome to the All-In Networker Podcast. This podcast started because myself, Dan McCabe, had a question. The question was, how do you build a big team fast in network marketing? So I asked a good mentor of mine, Dr. David Pietsch, who is a Hall of Famer, 250,000 customers in his downline, tens of thousands of representatives, and he just started spilling the beans. Started telling me everything, not just what worked in the past, but what he is doing in the future to really grow and build his business. I said, hey doc, this needs to be a thing. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, we're going to turn this into a podcast. So here it is, the secret straight from his mouth into your ears. Whatever we can do to help you and the industry grow is what we're here for. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's get started. Hey, and welcome back to the All-In Networker Podcast. So, fun topic today, and a topic that is going to help a lot of people, and it's all about choosing the right company, the right situation, and how you get started, or how do you make a change within your network marketing business. So just jumping right into it. I'm not going to ask you how you're doing. We're not going to mess with any of that bull crap this time. I'm just going to ask you, when you selected your company, what was it that attracted to you? What was it that attracted to you about the situation that you were going to be in?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I'm going to start with the other way around. What most people do is, they don't ever, when they get started, think about treating it like a real business. So what they end up doing is their friend pressures them to take a look face-to-face, on Zoom, whatever the case may be, and they end up joining, and somehow they end up having some success, and they continue to go on, and then they find out they get stuck in a company and it has all these issues that they didn't realize were there. I think that happens to an awful lot of people, and so I think that's one of the reasons why so many people jump from company to company, is because they just never thought it was going to work. And so they just signed up to test the waters, and somehow it did end up working, and they kind of get stuck. So for me, the last company I've been in for 13 years, prior to that, I hadn't done network marketing for 10 years. And I did the same thing. I signed up into a company because I liked the guy that showed it to me. I told him I didn't have any money, so he paid for me to get in. It's like, what do I got to lose? And that company ended up going out of business. And,
that was your first company, right?
What's that?
That was your first company, right?
That was the first company. That was Excel Telecommunications. We can throw it out there now. Who cares?
Yeah.
Pushing people's long distance over. And I liked it. It was cool, but technology changed, and the company ended up going away. And so what I was looking for, and I wasn't looking for it, but I had somebody that kept hounding me, month after month after month after month. I finally joined because this individual had been doing it for 2 years. He was winning big time. He was having fun. He told me he would help me. He has his own airplane, so he could fly anywhere that I needed him to go. And I stepped back and I'm thinking, okay, this guy has been there since day one. He is now in this thing for 2 years. He's making around $50,000 a month. He's telling me that he's going to help me. And all I got to do is put people in front of him in the beginning, so I don't have a lot of time, but he's willing to do the work and build the team for me. I'm like, yeah, okay. But as I stepped back and I looked, okay, what product are we selling? The biggest thing I was concerned about is, how is this company going to go out of business? And, as I really stepped back and I look at it, and I just realized that's not possible for the product that we sell to ever go away. I just said, okay, let's do it one more time.
Yeah. And that's, I guess I hadn't really thought about that. I mean, I've done a lot of trainings over the years on selecting a company. I never really thought about the longevity of the product and the sustainability of the product, but it makes perfect sense when you talk about Excel and how Excel sold a product that became obsolete. And that can happen with a lot of different things. I mean, we've seen it all over the place with what Uber's done to taxis and Netflix did to Blockbuster. I mean, there's all these kind of examples that every network marketer uses in their presentations anyways. So that's an interesting take on it as well. And I think you were spot on when you said a lot of people sign up because they get pressured into a meeting or presentation. Maybe it's a hotel meeting, back of a bar, one-on-one Zoom, wherever it is. And their cousin signs them up, and their cousin's excited. I just signed somebody up. But at the same time, their cousin hasn't won before in network marketing. They leave that meeting together dreaming of those pictures of the Lamborghinis they just saw on the PowerPoint, that's what life's going to be like. the product almost doesn't really matter, but they just put themselves kind of in a losing situation, but they did it because they're motivated at the exact moment,
Yep.
time to make that decision.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't do any sort of research. Again, they're not joining it because they're thinking, hey, I'm buying a franchise and I had to read and sign a stack of documents that's 1,000 pages high. And, I've been researching this for a year. I mean, it's just, they just get in, and very few people ever, sign up 2 to 4 people, and somehow they did, and somehow they made it. And somehow they're in it years down the road. And then they wake up like, I can throw out there a company. I'm not trying to, bash it or whatever, but, I look at my life that I've been able to live over the last 10 years of really not having to do anything. If I wouldn't have done anything, honest to goodness, over the last 10 years, I don't think my income would be that much different than it is. I've got a true residual in a real company. And there's a very prominent network marketing company out there that I think is really good. They got really good products. They're a really stable company. But if you achieve the highest level in their company, there are 15 requirements that you have to meet. So if you're a person like me at the top of the food chain, there's 15 things that I have to do because the owners of the company say, we just don't want somebody to get in and get lucky. I would never join that company in a billion years because it doesn't give me what I want if I actually achieve my dreams and my goals. And so I think a lot of people get stuck in that company. I think there's other companies that are out there that are good, stable companies, been around since the Excel days. But their compensation plan is so horrific that when people actually get to the top in your organization, you no longer override their commissions. They have no idea. They have no idea of any of these things. And again, they're amateurs, and this is why they switch companies. I mean, if we're going to just talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room, you got so many people around the world right now, doing Forex. It's just mind-boggling, and the fact that the regulators have not come and knocked these guys out yet is mind-boggling. But I've been around long enough to know when they did it the last time. You got the worst thing you can do in a Forex network marketing company is use the product. I live in Las Vegas. Do you think the casinos win, Dan? Do you think they're winning?
I've been to Vegas. I know they do.
Okay, it's the same thing in these Forex companies. The worst thing you can ever do is actually use the product, because if you use a product, you're going to lose money. And you got all these little 19 and 20-year-olds out there running around, educating the world on how to trade Forex and get rich. I mean, it hurts us in the long run. You got a lot of people making a lot of money over there, and then all of a sudden they're going to get their legs chopped off, and everybody's going to feel, oh, so sorry. No, you were doing something you shouldn't have been doing in the first place. I mean, you're selling securities without a license. You're teaching people how to lose money. And I know that as a network marketing, we're trying to build up the industry, but these people are not building up the industry. They are hurting the industry. For people that are trying to do it right and follow the rules and follow the law, it hurts us.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we kind of got off on a little side tangent there, but I like it because one of the big things that you need to look at whenever you're selecting a company is, have they been through the regulators? Because what a lot of people don't understand is that network marketing is a heavily regulated industry, and it should be a regulated industry. I mean, back in the old days, and the reason that network marketing got a black eye in the begin with was because there wasn't the proper regulation to shut down bad apples. And now that regulation is there. So what you're talking about is you're talking about newer companies that are coming onto the block that are selling and trading, doing securities as well. So they don't just have the network marketing regulators that they need to pay attention to. That's security regulators. And I don't know you do not want me handling your finances. I know that for sure. And I know that I'm not licensed, but I definitely know you do not want those regulators, breathing down your books.
And the fact that some of these companies have gone on as long as they have is just an absolute Christmas miracle. But I can just assure you that day is coming. It's like a pregnant woman. We don't know the exact day that it's going to deliver birth, but it's happening. And what these people in these companies tend to be young. They're super loud on social media. I mean, they do all the things that if any of us did it, of course we'd be winning. Of course we would. But they're violating the law all over the place. And the thing that, again, it would drive me absolutely bonkers is when it goes down, they're going to be the victim. Oh, these poor people, the government's just picking on you. No, if you're a real business person and you really cared about people, you'd put them into a real company with a real product that you can actually sell in network marketing. And that is not it.
Yeah, no. And, that I agree with you. And I have been around this industry long enough as well to where this isn't the first time these companies have popped up. They become a blip on the radar. They all disappear. They're not the first ones. The ones that are there now, Forex isn't brand new. It's been around. So we'll agree with that. I'm going to digress a little bit from continuing down that road. I'm going to bring us back here a little bit to when you're going out there and you're choosing the right company. You talked about it earlier, but we really need to be in the mindset of like, just like if you're buying a franchise, you are starting a business, and you need to go into it with a business mindset. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Dan, and I want to take 30 seconds to introduce you to networkerpro.io, because right now they got a free 14-day trial going on. If you've learned one thing listening to Dr. Pietsch and myself, it's that systems and automation are the way to build a big team. The way to get the big whales on your team is to have proper systems and automation in your business, and Networker Pro can do that for you. You can build all of your websites, your lead generation funnels, your email automation. It's a complete CRM. The calendar is built right into it, so you don't need to integrate with a different calendar. It is all right there. And right now you can go test it out on a 14-day trial for absolutely nothing. So I'm really excited about it. I'm fortunate that I was able to partner with some developers and have them build a software that became the backbone for what I believe is the number one network marketers tool out there on the market today. All right, let's get back to the podcast. Is this something that you can actually do long-term, sustainably? If I was going to start a franchise, I would do tons of research, because you're right. I have to sign a stack of documents. I have to pay $250,000 franchise fee. A lot of people get into network marketing with no idea that they wanted to start a business that morning. And they show up at a presentation, they sign up because it's cheap, it's easy, and they saw some fancy pictures. Whereas the people that we're really looking for, if you really want to get yourself into a winning situation in this industry, because perhaps the person listening to this right now is that person that signed up in the back of a hotel room, they signed up by a sponsor that is no longer in the business, they have no clue who their upline leadership is from there, and it's up to them to figure it out on their own. That's a really hard way to win in business, in any business.
I mean, Dan, you have to step back and you have to think, okay, what do I want to be selling? Am I selling something that has value? Can people walk out the door and find my product, the same product, half the price?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I love about what we do is we guarantee the price on everything that we do, and we actually sell something that people actually want. And it's not a fad, and it's not going away, and it's a lifestyle. I'm involved in a lifestyle company. I mean, you got people that are getting involved in like one specific nutritional product. And, I get pitched everywhere I go. When people find out I'm in network marketing, they just start going off on the benefits of their nutrition product. And I'm just telling you, like, for me, with my background in chiropractic, I've heard it so many times. You're just Charlie Brown's mom to me. I just don't hear anything that you're saying, because there's nothing exciting about that. The stuff that people somehow get excited about and they think it's going to somehow catch on and trend around the world, they're just delusional. Right. You have to sell something that people actually want at a price they can't get anywhere else. If you have to convince them, if you have to change their buying habits, if you have to get them to do something they're not currently doing, it's going to be rough. Yeah.
All of a sudden getting them into that new secret protein powder from some country nobody's ever heard of. Yeah, it's I always looked at all those because I get pitched them all too. I mean, obviously we have the All In Networker podcast, so we get pitched regularly on different things. And I just always looked at a lot of those like, I'm not a scientist. I did not go to school and become a nutritionist. Like, I don't know whose is better. And, as much as I want to believe every doctor claim on every site, it's really hard to, because, they got paid to make that statement. So, yeah, I agree with you. It certainly gets
how boring that is. I mean, again, I'm not trying to rip on nutrition companies or anything, but right. The best you got is our science is better than your science. I mean, give me a break. You want to know something? People don't give a rip. They don't believe you. They don't trust you. They don't even know if it works. I mean, Dan, look, if we're just telling the truth, okay? I'm a chiropractor. I practiced chiropractic for a long time. I graduated from chiropractic school 25 years ago. I've been around this stuff for a long time. I've been taking nutrition for a long time. Honest to goodness, between you and me and everybody listening, I have no idea whether nutrition actually works or not. I don't feel any different when I take it. I don't feel any different when I don't. All I can try to do is believe the science. Well, I don't believe the science because I don't know. I can tell you for a fact that when I was in chiropractic school, if I had an injury, I'm supposed to ice it. Well, now all the research says, no, the swelling is good. Don't ice that down. It's like what was true 25 years ago is no longer true. So how do you really even know? And my point is, you're doing stuff where everybody's thinking the same thing in the back of their mind. They're bored. They're embarrassed to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. Find something that people actually want. If
Yeah.
you tell them what they want at a price they can't get anywhere else, they will buy it from you.
I know. I'm pretty sure the entire food pyramid over the last 20 years is also flipped upside down. So it's, I mean, and that's the, Nutritional Council of America. I don't know who puts together the food pyramid, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So I get it. I get what you're saying and all that. If I was going to throw, I do love the industry of network marketing, obviously. And if I was going to throw the nutritional companies a bone at all, it's that, I've met some great network marketers, and I appreciate that they're out there. And I mean, if they believe in what they're selling, more power to them. But I've watched the lifestyle of a handful of them where, they go to the gym and they sell their products and they do okay. But it's a very small percentage of them, because it takes such a unique person that is able to wake up every day and live those daily disciplines, because it's more than, we talk about daily disciplines within your organization all the time and consistency to winning. If you're in a nutritional company, one of your daily disciplines better be the weight bench, because if I'm going to buy anything from you, it's going to be because you're a lot bigger than me, and you're definitely a lot healthier than me. So anyways.
Yeah. And again, we're not trying to pick on nutrition companies, because,
right.
It's just whatever product that you're selling,
right.
It's maybe you're excited about it, but I can assure you probably the masses aren't, and that's why you're not building a big team.
They just don't get it. And so, all right, we've covered so much ground here, and we've covered different topics. I've been taking some notes here, and I want to make sure we get back to a couple things. I believe a big part of choosing any company, I'm going to repeat myself from before, but that you need to go into it like you're starting a business. You need to go in it with a plan that it's going to be a business. And one of those things that you were talking about, the compensation plans earlier, and there's really two different kinds of compensation plans out there. I mean, I'm going to break it down to two. There's a lot of companies that are, somewhat front end commission heavy, but it's really hard to make a residual income on the back. You might collect some fun front end commissions and get paid a little bit of money up front, but it's really hard to build that duplication and get those big residual checks. And then there's other companies that have, it's harder to get paid up front. You have to go through more grind time. You need to spend more time building an organization. But on the back end, when you start seeing those much bigger residual checks, because that's the way the comp plan is set up, at the end of the day, all of the comp plans pay out, 50 to 60% of the revenue that comes in. They're all the same. It's just, do they pay you up front, or do they pay you on building a team and on a bigger residual scale? I know for me what my answer is and where I'd like to be, but having heard me say that, which one of those two do you prefer and why?
Well, I mean, of course, I like the money on the back end, because I think anybody who's really building a network marketing business wants residual income, and, look, a comp plan, I used to say a comp plan is a comp plan. And I think that's certainly true. I mean, you have some of these companies that just absolutely jimmy rig it at the top, like I said, to make it super hard for the big guys to sit around and, you do all this crap, I think, because you want to be able to go to the beach and not have to be working day in and day out. And so when you penalize that, so take that out of it, look, what you got to try to find is, I would say much more a product in a company and in the environment, because I just think about the company I'm in. We've changed our comp plan so many different times. It's always been heavy on the back end, but we've done a lot of promotions on the front end. We're about to do a lot of stuff to make it more balanced on the front end. So again, you attract a lot of people who are flash in the pans if it's on the front end. They make big money fast, but then it just always fades out because they can never clone themselves. So they can never get any duplication. So you don't really have any residual. And then you jump to the next company, then you don't really have any residual for sure, because you're jumping from company to company to company. So, I mean, if there's some magical company out there that has the perfect balance of front end and back end, okay, super duper. But I'm just telling you, like, that's super hard to find.
Yeah, no, it really is. And, I've got another good friend here in Minneapolis who's in another company, and he's been in for 11 years, and he's like right up there, top tier in the company. And I know that, his front end was probably very good when he was getting started, but I look at what his back end is right now and his residual income, and really it's probably less than a third of what yours is, without throwing numbers out there. But 11 years, same company, working hard every single day, full time, doing all the things, building a big organization, being a leader in the company. So it's just kind of how you look at it, because if it's got a big front end, what are you really? You are, you're basically a commission sales rep. I mean, that's what we are as network marketers. We're commission sales reps, but we get that one-time payment. The only way you keep making money, if it's really front end heavy, is to constantly be selling all the time. You never get that relief point. Whereas when it's on the back end, you work hard and you feel underpaid for a really long time, but then all of a sudden it turns and you've got that financial freedom that was on that PowerPoint picture that you saw on the first day.
Yep. Yeah, 1,000,000%. I mean, if I had to pick one, 1,000,000,000% on the back end in the residual.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, and I realize it's hard, and a smaller percentage of people bust through those first ranks because the pages, like, they look at how hard they worked and it just doesn't seem worth it. But the people that get all the way through, pay attention to those stories, look at the leaders in the company, cut out their pictures from the magazines, post them on your wall and just stare at them, because just think about what it is like to be there. Focus on that outcome, when you're building that business, because that's the ultimate dream in network marketing. It's freedom. It's time freedom. We talk about it. We put in the presentations, but it's not really truly obtainable in a lot of companies that are out there, which is unfortunate. So, man, we covered all kinds of ground. Focus on comp plans. Treat this like a business. I guess how are we doing here in time? We're doing okay. Let's wrap up with, we talked about companies quite a bit, and I made mention of a lot of people will sign up with their cousin at a presentation where they don't really know what they're doing. Their cousin quits, and then they don't know who their upline is. If you're really going to do this business and you want to build this business, the team that you sign up with is equally as important to as the company, if not more so in some situations. Systems duplication, things like that they can provide, because real training and network marketing comes from the leadership more so than it does from any corporate, in my opinion. So what are your thoughts on selecting a team and what it is you should be looking for there?
Yeah, I mean, you want to sign yourself up into a winning environment. I mean, God forbid somehow my company goes out of business and I had to go join, something else. I've got a handful of people who I think, are doing it right now, who are doing it big, who are capable of handling somebody like me, the organization that I would bring. And, maybe you're just Joe Sixpack out there just getting started in network marketing. You haven't been in that long. Again, you have to find people that, like for me, when I started 13 years ago with the person that I signed up, I knew that when I brought my network to this man, that he would never let me down, that he would not embarrass me, that he was professional, that I could take it to the bank, that this guy would make a good first impression, and he was willing to put in the work to help me. I knew that. And so you just got to become that person for other people. I mean, why would people join your team? If you're that person, then people are going to find you. Like I promise you, if you're the real deal, people will find you.
Right. And if you're looking for the right situation, there's a few things there's a few questions I would ask, which is, who is the leadership? How available are they? Just like you're talking about, will they put in the work to help you if you deserve their time and their effort? Which means you have to put in the work as well. It can't just be, hey, they're going to go build this business for me. You put in the work once upon a time, and, your sponsor helped you significantly because you were putting in the work. So if you deserve their effort, can that person make a significant difference in your life? So I'd look at that. I'd look at the systems they have in place. I'd look at their training platforms. In this age of network marketing, with all the technology that's out there, if you're joining a team that does not have some kind of online training platform or some kind of system for you to go through, you're just doing it wrong. Like, everybody should have it. It's not even hard to create anymore.
Yeah. If you don't have the systems in place, then you're never going to get somebody that's got any experience in network marketing that knows anything that's going on out there. That's an absolute given. That's a great point.
Right. And, I know that, there's people in your organization, there's people in your company that probably listen to this podcast. So I'm going to say this anyways, because why not? We're on the All In Networker podcast. But if the only system, and this isn't the case anymore, but this used to be the case. But if the only system is go call your 10 best friends and get back to me, like, that's not a system. They're just trying to
break down, and what are you going to do after the 10? There's never any training on what to do after the 10.
Right. And that's kind of it. And it's, and that can only take you so far. And if that's your only system as a leader, if that's your only system is to get people to talk to their 10, and then you move on to the next person, that gets really hard. You're leaving a lot on the table, and you're going to be working a lot harder for a lot longer. But if you're the new person coming in, I know when we do our trainings and things like that, we still get people to go talk to the people close to them that it makes sense to talk to. If it doesn't make sense to talk to your broke brother-in-law that just got out of jail, don't go talk to him. If it's going to be a negative experience in your life, don't do it. There's other things we can do. But then beyond that, then it's about that lead generation platform. It's like, how do you bring people in? What can you do to grow and build the organization after that? What kind of training systems are in place? And this is the part I love the most. This is the part that I think gets really misunderstood. But what kind of training systems does that leader have in place, not just for you to win, but for people that you bring in to win? You want to know that they both exist. So we talk about that all the time when we talk about shark hunting and going on recruiting A players. Like, these systems, they're entry to get into the game. One of my favorite network marketers said that quote once upon a time: systems are just entry to get into the game. And I think it makes a ton of sense. So, all right, as we wrap up here, what do you got to close us out?
I think the biggest skill that has to be learned in network marketing over the long haul is just, what are you going to do yourself, and what are you going to do to teach your team how to meet new people, how to get in front of new people every single day? Because if you have truly a way to do that, where you can be showing new people, because this whole game is just about exposures. So if you can create a system that can teach the masses of people, to get new blood in front of your presentation, that is the key to network marketing long-term.
Absolutely. And I'm writing that down because you gave me a great idea for another training course we need to record here one of these days. But that's it. That's it in a nutshell. It's like, what can you do and how can you help those people? And you need to figure out how you're going to do that as a network marketer. Or the alternative, and kind of what we were talking about today, is you need to find a team that can do that with you, a team that has somewhere for your people to plug into. I mean, realistically, your first 100 people coming into your organization, your first 200 people, you probably shouldn't be setting all this up yourself. You should be on a team that has it set up and can do that for you. You need to get significantly bigger. You need to hit a mid to top rank in the company before you should be thinking about really, really developing your own systems. Like, you're just in grind mode at that point. Plug into a system that works and makes sense for you and for your people. So, all right. I think we're good.
Rock and roll.
All right. Appreciate you guys always for listening. Please, if you found some value here, share it and like it, review it, all that fun stuff. Hop on over to the allinnetworker.com website and take part in some of those free trainings there. So talk to you guys soon. Thanks a lot. Hey, thanks for listening to the All In Networker podcast. Dr. David Pietsch and I greatly appreciate it. If you receive some value, or you know somebody that would receive some value, please share this episode with them. We want to pick up the entire industry, help serve the entire industry of network marketing. We believe that when other network marketers win, we all win. So on top of that, if you'd like to check out some of our free trainings, you can go to allinnetworker.com. Otherwise, please just rate, subscribe to this episode, this podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. We'd greatly appreciate it. And until next time, thanks a lot.